XLM to $1.29. That's not my price prediction for XLM, but that is what this article here from the currencyanalytics.com says. The price of Stellar could climb as high as $1.29 under favorable market conditions. Now, before I get back to this article, what are some of those favorable market conditions? And also, what is going to drive XLM to that valuation and potentially what I believe a lot more than $1.29 going into the end of 2025, but also bleeding into 2026. I'm going to talk about that in this video. Also, we're going to take a look at an XLM chart and why one signal on the weekly is flashing that the last time it happened, we saw 3 weeks of XLM consolidation and then a massive rally from 9 cents to 63 cents. Are we looking at a similar setup? We'll take a look at that chart. So make sure to like the video and let's jump in. So staying on this article, to kind of wrap it up, this was, again, from the currencyanalytics.com, Stellar Price Forecast 2025 to 2030, XLM poised for massive growth. As the market prepares for what many expect to be a bullish altcoin season in 2025, Stellar is climbing back into the spotlight. The renewed optimism is largely due to its strong fundamentals and high-profile partnerships with industry giants such as Visa, JPMorgan Chase, and Deutsche Bank, all three massive institutions. More recently, Stellar made headlines for powering cross-border payments through USDC, underlining its growth relevance in the decentralized finance space. Now, we know Stellar does payments and it does it very well. I will argue that Stellar does it the best in the entire industry, the fastest, the cheapest, settlement to finality. Great. But I think the one niche, the one narrative, the one vertical, the one sector that is really going to drive value to XLM and make the price absolutely moonshot is real world asset tokenization. As you can see here, this is from RWA.xyz. XLM, their value has grown over 2% over the last 30 days, approaching $500 million, with a 7.6% growth in RWA holders, which is up from the last 30 days. You can see their stablecoin market cap also up almost 20% from 30 days ago. You can see some of the largest protocols that are in XLM in terms of RWA include giants such as Franklin Templeton, Circle, WisdomTree, GMO, AUDC, and the Stablecorp Digital Currencies Incorporated. We also had a sit down with CoinDesk, and look at this title. Stellar sees $3 billion of real world assets coming on chain in 2025. This was a interview done by CoinDesk with Stellar Development Foundation CEO Denell Dixon. Couple of highlights here from this interview. Stellar, a super fast and low fee public blockchain, says it plans to hold $3 billion in RWA value and power, $110 billion in RWA volume by the end of this year. So they're expecting this number to, what is that, a 6x? To 6x in a matter of less than 8 months for XLM. That would be absolutely massive. Again, this is according to Denell Dixon. In addition, Stellar is welcoming a new round of tokenization specialists such as Paxos, Ondo, Etherfuse, and SG Forge. This is a quote from Ms. Dixon. We have a goal of powering $3 billion in real-world asset value on Stellar in 2025. Excuse me, that was from Lauren Thorbjornsen, who is the VP and Chief of Staff at Stellar. That would be more than a 10x increase from the $290 million in RWA that Stellar had at the end of 2024. But already we see a lot of growth happening on the network just in the first quarter of this year. Tokenizing a range of existing financial assets has become all the rage among traditional finance firms over the past year or so, with major companies including BlackRock entering the space. And it seems that Stellar is at the forefront of that. Again, you have the likes of Larry Fink saying trillions of assets of value will be tokenized on chain. And Stellar right now is only behind Ethereum and ZK Sync in terms of market dominance and value. And we expect them to usurp ZK Sync and fall in line behind Ethereum at number 2 for RWA, a niche that we've all been saying is going to be absolutely massive. your favorite project, because I'm assuming you're watching this video, or one of your favorite projects is going to be at the forefront of that big movement. And so big things are coming. Now, I mentioned the XLM chart. Let's take a peek. XLM on the weekly looks really, really good. So we came into this massive pump going back to November of last year from 9 cents up to a high of 64 cents. And let's take a look at what Market Cipher B was telling us prior to that massive move. So we're going to zoom in to this symmetrical triangle we had where XLM really just started getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And we saw multiple green dots forming. The first one started where our momentum wave crossed below our 60 line, where we saw a green dot on the weekly. XLM rallied from around 8.3 cents to a wick high of around 11.4 cents. And then we saw a drawdown, consolidation, chop sideways, and we kept seeing those momentum waves get smaller and smaller. Green dot, green dot, green dot, green dot, until ultimately the VWAP crossed, the momentum wave crossed, the RSI and the stochastics went absolutely bonkers. And again, XLM had that massive breakout and rally. We didn't even get a retest on the weekly, and we shot up again to that 64-cent level. Now, what has XLM done since then? From a price standpoint, we've seen a retracement perfectly to our 786 levels on Fibonacci, and now we're seeing price start to grind up. We are meeting a little bit of resistance at that 25.89 cent level, but this is leading to be a really, really nice setup for a very similar rally. Now, the only difference here is the momentum wave didn't get quite down to the level we saw back in July of 2024, which again preceded that massive rally from XLM, but nonetheless, a green dot on the weekly is always a big indicator. Are we going to see something similar where we see a slow grind up of these momentum waves with green dots, or is this thing just going to absolutely crush? Momentum wave crosses a zero line. We get a crossover on the VWAP, but also on our money flow as well for XLM. That's one thing to keep an eye on. Now, again, 25.89 cents. Seems to be a sticking point as far as resistance. The next big level on the higher time frame is right around 43.62 cents for XLM. If we zoom in to maybe the lower time frames on the 4 hour, we are seeing the 1 hour, we are seeing a little bit of a bull flag pattern playing out for XLM here, as we saw a big rally from around 24 cents. We saw this thing rise and then a downtrending channel. As long as we don't cross below this 24.93 cent region, this potential bull pattern is still intact. And that rally, my friends, that measured move, depending on where this thing breaks out, if we do break out here, you're looking at a rally up to around 27.38 cents. So nice opportunity for a scalp or adding to your XLM bags at a rally from this 24.87 cent region would bring us up to right below 27 cents. Now on Market Cipher B on the 1 hour, money flow is still looking good. We are seeing it potentially looking to curve inwardly as it was looking to get a crossover to the downside. And we do want to see this VWAP get across above our midline. Those would all be bullish indicators for a breakout, again, out of this potential bull flag pattern. So to say, $1.29 by the end of the year, I think is undershooting it just by a little bit. My profit target is more between that $3 to $5 range for XLM going into the end of 2025, bleeding into 2026. As long as it stays course on the RWA market share, the RWA narrative, I think 2025 and 2026 could be a massive year for XLM. If you're bullish on XLM, drop a 1 in the comments section. Also, if you're in a trading, you want to find the next XLM scalp to add to your bag, join our Discord, get VVIP access, and you'll get access to all of not only our trades, but the best traders on the Buy DeFi platform. That link is going to be in the description. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.